Hello, I'm Skulbogie here with the White Lion, Willie Van Rooyen, ahead of his upcoming one fight night 41 fight against Jeremy Miado. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, thank you, Scott. How are you?
I'm doing good. And how are you feeling ahead of this fight?
No, I'm feeling very, very confident. The training camp was good, much better than the previous one. So I'm very, very confident and I'm feeling ready for this fight.
And how was it with the build up to your last fight? Because obviously you were scheduled to have that title fight in EFC, and then it suddenly changed over to being the one fight. How could that kind of the opponent change and moving organizations? How did that kind of affect the preparation?
Yeah, it made the prep actually a bit harder, even though the previous fight was a title fight, the one that I should have had at EFC. Um, but the preparation was much harder because one championship's a much bigger
Yeah.
organization than EFC. So yeah, it just had me like how can I say up the level of the fight camp. So it was it was a much harder fight camp than it was usually what it would have been. Sorry. So yeah, but at the end, it also increased my skill level and everything as well. So I'm actually very very grateful that one championship came to me to offer me the contract and everything. So I am very very grateful for that.
And how was that last fight? Obviously, it didn't go your way, but what was it that kind of threw you off about his game plan?
So yeah, of course, it was my first time fighting in a different country,
Yeah.
and also at a big organization. So it was something that I had to adapt to very quickly in a very short time. So for me, it was a bit like I wouldn't say I got stage fright, but it's almost the same.
Yeah.
So it was just fighting at a massive, way bigger stage than I'm used to, and yeah, it's I think it played a bit of a role. The nerves was there, of course, but other than that, I think the ice is broken now. So yeah, it didn't go my way, but now I know what to expect and what the skill level are of the fighters there. So I know how to properly prepare myself for the fight now.
I think what really I like about your mindset is I think it was you're speaking about it before your first title defense. You went in there saying, I'm not defending my belt. I'm looking to achieve that belt again. Is that kind of how you go about it every fight is to try to not look at it as a settler, but to level up?
Yes, yes, definitely. Even now with the previous fight, even though it was a loss for me,
Yeah.
it was more of a learning curve. Uh, can use this fight. I used that fight to analyze where I need to work on, where my strengths are, where my weaknesses are. So for me, it was a good eye opener to just improve myself as a fighter as well. So yeah, that's my mindset in every fight is win or lose, I am there to build myself as a fighter and increase my skill level after every fight.
Now, I know you're not going to give out your game plan on here, but what is the kind of differences in the fighting styles between your last opponent and Jeremy?
So yeah, Jeremy is more of a stand-up fighter for me, that I've watched now. So he's more of a stand-up fighter where I also am a stand-up fighter. So for me, it's almost like my preferred type of opponent that I like to fight, because we are both have stand-up backgrounds.
Yeah.
And if you look at the previous opponent, he has more of a sambo and wrestling background. So yeah, I think his wrestling was a bit better than mine, and that's why he caught me in that armbar. But I've also worked a lot on improving my wrestling game and everything. So I think w- ground or stand up, I think I should be ready to face them again.
And obviously, you were able to clinch that title in EFC. How good was that feeling when you went in there You not only did you get the knockout, it was under a minute, and you were able to get a belt around your waist. How good was that feeling?
Yeah, for me it was awesome. Yeah, it was a very overwhelming feeling, I must say. So yeah, yeah, the preparation that I had, and the how can I say, the build up to that fight was so big, and there was so much
Yeah,
pressure on me for that fight. That when I got the knockout, it was almost like a relief that came off my shoulders, a big weight coming off my shoulders. So um, yeah, I was very, very happy and super excited because I knew I needed that title for me to get into international organizations or bigger
yeah.
promotions as well.
And you feel like that is kind of what drew one towards you is you got that title, so you were able to get that a little bit more recognition.
Yes, yes, 100%. I think the winning the title and also the first defense, I think it played a big role in one championship reaching out to me.
And with the EFC, they have since crowned the new champion. You've also got Tomelo, who went to the Ultimate Fighter and is now that champion. How do you kind of rate that flyweight division currently in the EFC?
Oh no, that flyweight division, it is and I think will always be like the most stacked division in EFC.
Yeah.
Anyone of that flyweights can be the champion, and they will be able to stand on their ground. Yeah, the flyweights of EFC is much more or on a higher skill level than all the other weight divisions in EFC. For me personally, so I think even if you take one or some of that flyweights and put them in other international promotions, they will be a force to be reckoned with. So I think they will make some have a big impact in other promotions if they get the opportunities to fight in international promotions.
And it just shows you how good flyweight is currently at the moment. If you just look at the UFC just a
Mhm.
few weeks ago, you have Kavaha, who was unranked going into his fight against number six Moreno and
Yeah.
nearly knocked him out in the second round, got the decision victory. But it just shows you anyone can beat anyone on their
Yeah.
day.
Yes. No, I agree 100% with you there. And yeah, Kavanaugh looked amazing on that fight, I must say.
And how do you kind of rate that flyweight division in the UFC just now?
Also, it's a massive stack division. There's not that many flyweights bouts on the cards anymore,
Yeah,
but when there's a flyweight fight, it's always an exciting fight to watch. Because like I said, the skill level of the fighters are so high, and they are so evenly matched. Like you said, anyone can be I can say can have the better day and just become the champion. I mean, look at the Peugeot fight, and now he lost his title, but
yeah.
it was just not his day. But let's say in the next rematch, it will be his day again, and he will be able to win the title. It can be Kavanaugh who fights for the title, and he can win it. So anyone of that flyweight division can be champion for me personally.
And am I correct in saying you're currently training under at the gym A star? Is that correct? A team star.
Yes, the 18 stars. Yes.
And how has that been for your development? How important is it to find that team? Is it true you've been there for like over 10 years, I think I heard?
Yes, yeah, I've been there basically almost my whole career. And yeah, it's for me it's very important because me and my coach have built such a relationship
Yeah.
that he knows exactly how to train me. And if I were to go to a new gym now and switch trainers, you have to build that relationship up again from ground, and that usually has a big impact on the fights because the fighter and the coach doesn't have that relationship that they had with, let's say, like me and my coach has at the moment. So For me, that's very important. The relationship between the fighter and a coach, and also the experience we have together. We know exactly how to prepare for fights, and how he knows exactly how my mind works with the fights. So he knows exactly what to coach me or tell me in the fights and rounds on what I should do and what I should not do.
And what's your kind of plan for this year? Like, how many fights are you looking to take?
As much as possible for me personally. So after this fight, it's March. If I can be back in the ring by June, July, and then maybe another one at the end of the year again, it will be perfect for me. So yeah, I just want to fight as much as possible and build up as much experience as possible, because I don't think the experience that I have at the moment is going to be enough for me to challenge for the title. So I want to build up my career and build myself as a fighter, so that I know that I'm going to be ready to fight for the title when I get the opportunity.
And I'm going to take you back to 2023. You were still in your amateur days and you were able to go over to the IMMAFs. Now, how big was that for development? Because obviously, with the IMMAFs, you have some guys who don't even leave the IMMAF, they just stay there their whole career.
Yes, yeah. So even the IMAF for me was a massive eye opener to the world of MMA, because I was fairly new to MMA when I went to the IMAF world. So for me, it was a massive eye opener of um, how can I say, the development of the
Yeah.
sport, how the sport evolved and everything. So for me, just to see the skill level of what the fighters are on amateur level, it just made me realize how much harder I have to work to improve myself when I want to go pro. And that's why that's why my, like I say, my motto is just, I want to improve myself as a fighter, and I never work on anything specific. And I just want to focus on striking, and then I neglect the wrestling. I'd rather improve myself as a fighter and not prepare myself according to how my opponent is.
And you also do have that tricky environment as well with the IMAFs, with the competition
Mm.
and that. Do you feel like that has also helped you prepare for when you go into one and have those bigger crowds, have those hometown fans?
Yes, no, definitely. It helped me to, because it was the similar environments. You're
Yeah.
in a completely different country. It's a way different environment that you're used to. So for me to fight there, it also broken the ice of fighting in a different country. Um, yeah, now it was just more professional when I was at one championship. So I think that's why I say I didn't really get stage fright. It was just the environment. I had to adapt to a completely different environment in a very short period of time. So for now, I think that definitely helped with me to adapt quicker than I was should have adapted.
And how big has Darius been for MMA in South Africa? Obviously, he did try to get a show through there, but how big has he been?
Yeah, no, definitely he's playing a massive role for the amateurs and the youth MMA in our country at the moment. Even for the new pros and the professional fighters, he is promoting every MMA event there
Yeah.
is, like for professional and everything. So I think he played a massive role. The sport has grown very, very much ever since he created that name for himself in UFC. So I think he is really doing something good for the country, and especially for the country's sport of MMA.
And how big would it be if he was able to come into South Africa, be the headliner, and have a show, just a UFC show in South Africa?
Oh, that will be massive. I think that's what he was trying to
Yeah.
accomplish. But yeah, there's just a very few logistic barriers that prevented it from happening. But I think if that happens, I think the sport will grow even bigger and than it is already. It's growing at a massive rate. So I think by the time, if that ever happens, I think the country's world of MMA will definitely shift.
And what do you feel like has been your toughest fight so far?
My toughest fight is going to be, I'd say it was the now this debut at One Championship, but personally, I think it was my fight with Gaugelu at EFC.
Yeah.
I got dropped in the second round, if I remember. Yeah, in the second round, but I managed to recover, and yeah, that fight was just one massive war. So, yeah, it was a very hard fight.
And I always like to get into this like aspect of what do you kind of like prefer? Do you like going in there and getting those under a minute knockouts, or do you like to just have a bit more time in there? Because obviously you do that hard work, you do that grind for like 8 weeks or so, and then you just go in there just for that 1 minute finish. Do you kind of like going a wee bit longer, or do you just don't care? In and out under a minute, it's time for you.
Yeah, for me, I don't really worry about that. For me, it's just I want to be in top shape when I
Yeah.
fight. So even if I knock out the guy in the first 10 seconds, I won't have a problem with that. Um, yeah, there's a quote that my coach always said is you don't get paid to fight 5 full rounds. If you can finish the fight in the first round, why not? So yeah, it's better. For me personally, I think it's healthier if you can fight quicker. You take less damage on your body, um, and you can recover quicker and be back in the ring as soon as possible. So for me, that's personally, I don't really worry about fighting either a full fight or if I can get the finish in the first round, it's also fine with me.
And do you have anything that you kind of like to do like after a fight? Like, is there any particular food you like to have? Is there anything you like to do after a fight?
So yeah, after my fight, I also always go grab a proper steak. Yeah, me and my family, we love meat, so I always like to go to a restaurant and have a nice proper steak, or sometimes even pizza. I love having a nice pizza after a fight as well.
And how do you cook your steak?
No, for me, my steak, I prefer between rare and medium rare. That's my preference.
Well, that's just great. And if you know any pizza places or you know any steak places near the One Fight Night arena, I think it's in Bangkok, you know just where to reach out to. Is there anything you'd like to add or anyone you want to shout out tonight?
Sorry, you glitched a bit. I couldn't hear what you said.
It's
Sorry.
like, is there anyone you want to shout out or anything else you'd like to add?
Oh, just the fans, all of the fans watching. I mean, if it wasn't for the fans and everything, we wouldn't have been here. We wouldn't have had this interview. We're doing it this for the fans. So yeah, the shout out goes to the fans, and we appreciate you using your time to watch these interviews and support, and we appreciate all the support. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Make sure you guys tune in to the One Championship on March 13th, and you can see Willie get the fantastic stoppage and see him get his first One Championship win. Thank you so much for coming on.